I'm standing here humbly because my government is trying to do as much as we can. We're hosting 110,000 Ukrainian women and kids. So their men, husbands, boyfriends can defend their country. We have never supplied military equipment in such an amount as we did in the past few days. And I can tell you that we will do more. This is about neighborhood. We will do more. In my hand, I have a small gift from Ukrainian ambassador, my very good friend, Ambassador Markarova. This is a Christmas decoration. But for me, this is Ukrainian radar. Until Ukraine will be free, this will not be out from my desk. And I will always work with you to defend your freedom, because your freedom is my freedom. Slava Ukraini!
Mr. Ambassador, you had said that you don't want to speak the Ukrainian language. Well, this is going to be a test of languages on how to thank the ambassador in the Slovak language. Ďakujem. 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 Imagine the country of Slovakia has stepped up not with just with its humanitarian assistance, but is also willing to provide MiG jets and Su jets to Ukraine to help Ukraine defend its airspace. Small countries, big hearts. Small countries, small countries. Ďakujem, Mr. Ambassador. I continue with the list of official diplomats that we have with us this afternoon. And it is an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you the Deputy Chief of Mission of the country of Latvia, Juris Pikalis. Mr. Pikalis, please.
Slava Ukraini! I'm honored to be here today to join you, and I'm particularly proud to see so many Latvians joining me today here and also in Latvia to show solidarity and support to our Ukrainian friends. Latvia stands for united, sovereign and free Ukraine. A Ukraine that goes from Lviv to Kiev to Lugansk and Odessa. And yes, a Ukraine that includes Crimea. Latvia continues to actively support Ukraine as it stands against Russian aggression, as it stands in defense of its sovereignty and in defense of European values. Our government, our people are united with Ukrainians as they face Russia's unprovoked aggression. Latvia has supported Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, and Latvia continues to support Ukraine today. And I'm proud that together with our European and NATO allies, support to Ukraine continues to grow. Putin wanted to divide us. Instead, we are more united than ever, stronger than ever. Russia must be isolated from international community. Together, united, Europe, North America, and our global allies, we will continue our pressure on Russia until Russia stops its war on Ukraine, until Putin stops killing innocent Ukrainians, until Russia leaves sovereign territory of Ukraine. The people of Latvia have raised millions of euros in previous days in private donations to support Ukraine. Latvia provides military and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. Latvia has opened its borders to welcome Ukrainians. Our government strongly supports granting Ukraine a candidate status in the European Union. Latvia wants to see Ukraine joining European Union. Latvia will never accept anything other than free, undivided, sovereign Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Deputy Chief of Mission, Pikalis, I don't know how to say thank you in Latvian, but thank you. Thank you. The ambassador mentioned a very important point. Ukraine has always been a European country. Its 1,000 years of history rooted Ukraine in Europe. It is now up to the European Union with friends such as Latvia, the other Baltic countries, Poland, Slovakia, and so forth, that are supporting Ukraine's accession into the European Union. Thank them for everything that they are doing in support of Ukraine. Thank you. The list of embassies keeps growing. It's an honor to introduce to you the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Polish Embassy to the United States, Adam Krywosadzki.
Hi, and thank you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you gathered here in support of free, sovereign, independent Ukraine. Let me at the outset recognize this incredible heroism that the Ukrainian people, men, women, the elderly alike, have shown in this fight against an unprovoked, unjustified Russian aggression since February 24. It is a true inspiration, as it's been mentioned so many times today, not just to Ukraine, Poland, the United States, but to the entire community of the peace-loving and freedom-loving nations. But it is also our moral obligation to support Ukraine in the face of this aggression in every form possible. And I am proud to say that Poland, as always, is at the forefront of these efforts. We, together with Canada, were the first country to recognize Ukraine's independence in 1991. We were with you. We were with you in 2004, 2014, and we are with you today. Thank you. We will continue to provide our support in the form of military aid, humanitarian relief, financial aid, and politically for as long as it takes. It is because, again, as has been mentioned by some of our colleagues from our region, we know how it is to live under communist and Russian yoke. And we know, above all, that no matter how long the fight, light will eventually prevail over darkness. And the desire to live free in a free and democratic state will prevail over efforts of authoritarian thugs. I am also proud that the Polish nation has opened its heart, and also the Poles, ordinary Poles, have opened their homes to so many Ukrainians. Thank you. Exactly in the spirit of solidarity, the word known to all of us so well. As we speak today, we have allowed over 1 million people fleeing Ukraine to enter Poland. Mostly Ukrainians, but also nationals of over 70 countries. And as it was made crystal clear by our Prime Minister and President of Poland, everyone is welcome.
Thank you.
And we will continue to host Ukrainians in our country for as long as it takes. Rest assured that they are safe in Poland. We wish that they can come back to their free, independent country as soon as possible. But we are determined to provide you with any support, as I've said, for as long as it takes. Thank you so much. Dziękuję and Slava Ukrainie!
Deputy Chief of Mission, dziękuję bardzo! Ja już zakryję. Dziękuję bardzo! Dziękuję bardzo! Imagine the country of Ukraine in the center, geographic center of Europe, has amazing neighbors except for one. Maybe two now. How do we thank our speakers? How do we thank those countries that have stepped up to support Ukraine? To thank them is for all of you to go back home, to do the same thing with your congressmen and with your senators, to do the same thing with the White House. USA, arm Ukraine! USA, arm Ukraine! USA, arm Ukraine!
USA, arm Ukraine! USA, arm Ukraine! USA, arm Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
It's a good thing we have backups here. I forgot to mention a very important country, and I do apologize. My humblest of apologies to the great country of Lithuania that is here with us as well. Please welcome the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Embassy of Lithuania to the United States, Davidas Špokaiskas.
Thank you very, very much. I must say there is a new superpower in Europe. And that superpower is definitely not Russia. Because the country that attacks civilians, the country that attacks nuclear power plants is not led by the leaders and by the superpowers. It is a country, if it behaves like that, that's the way war criminals behave. And that superpower which I think is now born in Europe is obviously Ukraine. It's Ukrainian leadership, it's Ukrainian army, but most importantly, it's Ukrainian people. We in Lithuania are amazed by you. Every single Lithuanian stands with Ukraine every step of the way. Starting from Maidan, through the years, we are with you, we will continue to be with you. We are sending defensive and military equipment to you. We will be sending humanitarian equipment. Our borders are open to all the Ukrainians who want to come. Our homes are open to every Ukrainian who wants to come to live and shelter. And we do that because we understand that Ukrainians are not only fighting for their freedom, they are fighting for Lithuania's freedom. They are fighting for Baltic freedom. They are fighting for European freedom. They are fighting for world freedom. And this is the war that we just cannot lose. And this is the war that we will not lose. Because of you. Slava Ukraini!
I know thank you in Lithuanian. Very simple. Ačiū. 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 Our friends from the Baltic states are truly our friends. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, they know Russian aggression. They were under the Soviet yoke at the same time that Ukraine was. They have blossomed. They are part of the EU. They are part of NATO. They are now helping Ukraine to do exactly the same thing. Thank you, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. I had mentioned earlier that Ukraine has wonderful neighbors, and I said, well, maybe except two. It's the government in the next country that I will introduce to you, which is the problem for Ukraine. But its people have always been with the Ukrainians, shoulder to shoulder. This is truly a unique opportunity to have with us in Washington, D.C. I want to say, Foreign Secretary of the shadow government of Svetlana Tikhanovskaya. It's an honor to introduce my friend that I have known for more than 20 years here in Washington, D.C., Valery Kavalevsky.
Там, дивися, там так зомбували, вони
years ago, my son was 5 then, we here to protest the annexation of Crimea. We protested against the invasion of Russia in the east of Ukraine. Now we see that 8 years after, these days, we need to go back and finish this business. And this means not only defend Ukraine, but this means defeat Putin and put him where he belongs. We want to make sure that they are free, democratic, independent, and vice versa. There will be no free independent government without independent trade. That's why we'll continue fighting with us, shoulder to shoulder, in spite of all the difficulties. And even though the dictatorship in Belarus remains where it is, there will be no lack of our support for Ukraine. And I also would like to thank our neighbors, Poland, Lithuania, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary, Baltic states, who have done so much to support Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Живе Беларусь! Нехай живе і квітне ненька Україна!
Thank you so much. Please give him a round of applause for Mr. Kowalewski. We really appreciate that. We appreciate all the villagers and people who stand up against Lukashenko for the people. Thank you, Belarus. Slava Ukraini. Next, I would like to bring back onto stage His Eminence, the Archbishop of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the United States of America, His Eminence Archbishop Daniel Zelinsky.
Слава Україні! Я вас не чую! Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні! Listen, my dear friends, for the past hour and a half, we're talking about the life of innocent people in Ukraine. But we also want to honor the memory of the innocent children and also many members of the armed forces that have already lost their lives in the past 1 days. And also those that have lost their lives in the past 8 years of the ongoing war in Ukraine. This war does not stop in the days. It has to go on the past 1 year. Lithuania has been urged to surrender the whole of Ukraine from subsidy. They remember Maidan. They remember 8 years ago Maidan was a legacy when Ukrainians were the one right their lives. So, there's something. We need to still stay alert.
Hey, John. So here's my dilemma. There's like a Berlin Wall going right through the protest. So there's this barriers and stuff, and people are either on one side of it or the other, and you actually have to walk out of the crowd and go back around. That would be that beautiful shot where you see the White House in the background with the whole crowd in the foreground. Am I live? So am I live? To full service or just yeah, like just regular people. That one guy was Kurt Volker. One interview was the former whatever he was. Anyway, yeah, see, I haven't actually gotten any people yet. You want me to go ahead and get people? Because I'm kind of on the outskirts here. I could probably go around here. So get a few sound bites.
Да, там 16 лет,
Yeah, and it's the most stuff that people marching around. There's people doing what I will be doing. You can follow up that if you want to do that instead of doing so. And actually, my Vox Pops in the park will be better. I'm really close to speakers here. Let me follow these people to the flag, and that's just how I'll get there. Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
Every hour on the hour, I meditate.
Excuse me, miss, I'm just going to go to your right. Excuse me, folks, I'm just going to go to your right. Thank you. Appreciate that. How you doing? Could I talk to either one of you? Could I interview you? Do you have a second? Thank you. So, stop evil. We've seen it before, right? So, what are we going to do this time? What's your ideas?
My ideas? We need to save lives in Ukraine. We need to clear Ukrainian skies from Russian missiles. Ukraine needs help with this. All help that we can. Weapons, I don't know what else, but some people are dying right now in Ukrainian cities, bombed by Russian airplanes. So it needs to be stopped. It's clear, everything that can be done should be done. I don't know where, for example, if Putin takes Ukraine, what's next? What Western countries will find as an excuse if he attacks other countries? Moldova, Lithuania, Estonia. I don't think that it's that NATO countries should draw such a line that they won't help Ukraine directly.
It seems like you know, in World War, I was talking to Kurt Volker, and was, you know, World War I, World War II, they didn't call it that when it was happening. When it first happened, they didn't know they were in World War II. Are we seeing the beginning of, you know, could this be a flashpoint that draws everybody in?
Yes, I agree. I mean, I don't think, I think it's a world war. Basically, Putin violated all international laws. He attacked innocent peoples, and basically Ukrainian on the front line protecting democracies of the world. I mean, I appreciate a lot that other Western countries, actually helping Ukraine a lot. But I don't think there should be such a line that NATO wouldn't involve at all. It's just helps Putin. because he knows that whatever he do, NATO wouldn't be involved.
It's almost like a test of NATO that he did. He tested them to see what would happen. What? Can I get your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Oleg Ravun.
Can you spell it for us just so we get it? Somebody else is working on it.
O-L-E-G, first name. Last name Ravun, R-A-V as in Victor, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy.
Great. Thank you, sir. And you are friends, or you're...
We're married.
You're married. Oh, what a great couple. You're perfect. You're perfect. That happened out nicely, didn't it? And I'm just going to get a shot of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks. Hello. Hi. Could I interview you? Do you talk to me on camera? Could I talk?
Sure. I'm okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Just take 2 seconds.
No, please.
You can pick right back up.
I do have braces, so it may not be very photogenic.
No, I've had those myself. So tell me, let me get my textbook thing set. So tell me, you know, everybody's here in solidarity. Do you have family? Tell me a little bit about how this is affecting your family directly to bring you out to make this point to the President Biden.
Yeah, so today I'm here because I came with my family to show support.
And you just look at me.
To show support for Ukraine. I do have extensive family and friends throughout Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian. I was born and raised in Ukraine. And so family that I have are spread out from Kyiv to Lviv, from Cherkasy to Berlin. So there are multiple people who, whether or not they're my direct family, I feel like everyone is my family now because of how this is affecting civilians. And anyone in Ukraine is now under potential threat of bombing and civilian shelling. So when people ask me, are your parents safe? Do you have someone in Ukraine who's affected? I can never say, oh, they're okay, because no one is okay. Everyone is a potential target for Russian tanks and shelling. And I think that Ukraine needs more military support in order to bring an end to this war. And that's why I'm here, just to voice my request for the U.S. to step in stronger and to give an arm to Ukrainians in need.
Do you think, is there any concerns in your mind about, let's say we step in and suddenly we have a full World War III going where China's stepped in and we've stepped in and France has stepped in and India sides with Russia, who knows where everybody's allegiance actually lies.